Hey, listen. Every so often, my addiction to doom scrolling through TikTok or Instagram Reels actually turns up something more worthwhile than just random cooking videos that I'm never gonna make the recipe, or random AI videos that blow my mind that I'm not watching something that's actually real. For instance, last year I stumbled upon this TikTok trend called #SheDeservedThePurse. Anybody familiar with this at all? This started with a young lady named Denisha. She was shopping at Target and making her way down the baby aisle when she found a purse kind of wedged between the merchandise. And as a mom, she could totally see the video play out in her head, right? Like some mom was wanting to treat herself with this purse, but quickly recognized she wasn't gonna be able to afford that and the things that her baby needed. And so choosing her baby over herself, she put the purse back and left. So this turned into a TikTok video with a picture of the purse there wedged between diapers and formula with the #SheDeservedThePurse in this caption: "To the mothers who chose themselves last, you deserve the world tonight and always." The video went on to garner millions of views and sparked this social phenomenon of people showing up left and right to stores in specifically baby aisles to hide cash or gift cards or encouraging notes to moms in baby diaper boxes and under formula cans. And it was met with just this stream of response videos of moms sobbing in gratitude when they would find these unexpected blessings. It was this beautiful thing until it wasn't. Because just a couple weeks after this trend started, what was this beautiful way to serve other people quickly for others became this selfish, sadistic treasure hunt, where people who clearly weren't mothers were showing up to stores and ripping baby aisles apart, trying to find cash or gift cards. This is what's wrong with us as a society. We live in a world where in one moment we can have this beautiful trend of taking care of one another and then all of a sudden ripped apart baby aisles at Target. Here's the deal. I think it perfectly encapsulates what Paul is talking about in Romans 7, the idea that both of these impulses just wage war against each other in our souls. That at one moment, I can have the capacity to see someone's need in front of me and want to step in and help. And then in the same moment, be tempted to just focus on myself, right? Empathy and selfishness, altruism and egocentric thinking. Sociologists have actually identified that we're living through what they call a crisis of empathy. In fact, a recent study determined that over the last 2 decades, emotional empathy, my ability to feel and understand what you're feeling and relate to you, it has decreased by 48% amongst American adults. What's really funny is only about 8% of Americans actually say, you know what, I recognize that in myself. Most Americans are nah, it's someone else's problem. Political polarization has reached historic levels. 63% of Americans now view people from the opposing political party as, quote, a clear and present danger. Not just wrong in their thinking, literally dangerous. And here's the deal. If I label someone as dangerous, I can justify not wanting to care for them. Social media has created this weird phenomenon where you could be scrolling through Facebook and in one moment see these awesome pictures from your friend's wedding, and then the very next moment, these heartbreaking pictures and headlines from natural disasters halfway across the world. And we're bombarded with all these headlines and all these things demanding our attention and needs, and it leads to what's called an empathy collapse. Our minds become so overloaded by everything demanding our attention that we just kind of lock up. And so we can settle for a like or a comment or a share, and awareness becomes a substitute for true connection and trying to seek and find solutions. There's also the hustle culture that we live in, right? We're told to grind and to optimize and to maximize our potential and minimize our interruptions. And so how in the world am I supposed to stop and actually see someone in front of me and step in and meet needs? Bryson, I don't have time for that in my calendar. Do you know what I have going on? We have all of these things swirling around, and yet in this Christmas season, we've been pressing pause to study through this series that we're calling the Jesus Filter. where we're looking at how Jesus said yes and no and what he prioritized and how he made decisions so that we can use him as an example in our own lives instead of making decisions through the filters given to us by our families or the culture. And this is so important because Jesus lived in a world much like ours. Like it was just as divided and hostile and self-centered, and yet we see him operating in completely different ways than we do. One of my favorite quotes from the late pastor and author Tim Keller is this: if your God never disagrees with you, you might just be worshiping an idealized version of yourself. Ouch, I feel that on a deep level. Listen, I don't think there was a greater yes from Jesus that was more scandalous to his disciples or more jarring towards our status quo and revealing of the emotional divide within our hearts than his yes to this word, compassion.